he's going to be like, well, it's not my fault, I was just walking over and this thing you kept here just made me trip. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Blessing. I'm always happy to be here with you guys. Today we're going to be talking about types of man you should never get married to. Never consider them for marriage. Like never ever. As a married 20-something-year-old, I can literally weigh in on some of this. This video is dedicated to my ladies out there who are looking to get married, looking forward to be a wife in the near future, or so just so one person can possess all of these. If one person possesses all of these traits, then you should know that it is a problem. But at the same time, also know that everybody is not perfect. So even if you find one or two of these traits in somebody and you can manage it, it is totally fine. In case there's anything I miss in this list, please put your own in the comment section. Add it up so that people who are coming to this video will also get to see some of the people that they should avoid in marriage. Let's go. The first kind of man I'll tell you to avoid and never consider for marriage, never get married to, is a manipulative person. Never get married to a manipulative person. I think we all know what manipulation means. It's always trying to turn the table to think that the other person is at fault. Meanwhile, you might probably be the person at fault. So imagine getting married to a manipulative man and you guys have an issue. He will always try to turn the table on you to think that you are the problem. He will always try to make you see yourself as the reason why this thing is happening. So that person is a no-no when it comes to marriage. And trust me when I say, when you start seeing yourself as the person who is always the problem, it starts messing up with your sanity, and it's not something you want to do. Like, marriage should be like a very beautiful and enjoyable stuff. It's not something that should start making you leave who you are, your original self, to being somebody you're not. So being married to a manipulative person is a no-no, because you always see yourself as the problem of everything, and you always find yourself being the person apologizing every single time for something you probably might not be the fault for. So please, anybody who you've seen trait of being manipulative, I beg you, start either trying to change it now. Don't try to change it when you've entered the marriage, because it is going to be extremely difficult. Try to change that while you're still in a relationship, or don't go for it at all. Yeah, the second kind of person I would tell you to avoid and never get married to is somebody who is too organized or too unorganized. So now let me explain this. For the too organized part, let me tell a simple story of a man who literally told his wife to pack out of his house because she didn't follow his rules on organization. So I have to use my kids' toothpaste for this kind of thing. So that man is a person who is so organized that he knows how he wants his things to be kept. He knows how he wants everything to be kept, down to his bathroom. So he got married and he gave instructions that his wife should always take the paste from underneath the paste, so that everything just slides on equally and just go out equally. But the wife is not a kind of person who follows that kind of thing. Probably she's somebody who just like me, just comes and opens the paste and just presses from any angle. So she did this, taking it from this place instead of down this place, and that got the man so upset that he said he wasn't going to get married to her anymore, which is absolutely so absurd. I know, right? So yeah, those are the kind of people you want to avoid. You don't want somebody who is overly organized, somebody that when you put something there, probably by mistake, gets really cranky and angry and annoyed, because at the end of the day, children comes in and things cannot always be the way they are. So that will tend to always cause problems for you guys. He's going to keep on seeing you as somebody who is like so unorganized. He's definitely going to understand that these kids are the one messing things up. He's definitely not going to understand that you have so many things filled up in your plate. Before you're done with this one, he might be home before you can be able to arrange that thing, and he wouldn't want to understand that you had so many things in your hands to take care of before arranging that particular thing. He didn't want to see that way. So yeah, it's going to keep on causing problems in your family. And for the unorganized person, you don't want to marry somebody who's unorganized, because I've heard stories of men who just come back and throw their shoe in one place, throw their clothes in one place, and all of that. Yeah, definitely, you already know that if you're somebody who can take that, it's going to be a hard thing for you to do. If you are somebody who is too organized or too non-organized, please, it's better for you to just keep it in the middle. Just get somebody who's like cool with everything, who can actually adapt to every situation. The third kind of person I'll tell you to never get married to is a self-defensive person. Oh my god, like somebody who always defends himself in every single thing. Ladies, please just throw that person away, because that would drive you crazy. He's wrong, he knows he's wrong, he doesn't want to admit to him being wrong, he doesn't want you to tell him his mistakes in his presence or mistakes into his face. He's just defending himself. For example, you have a white cloth that you love wearing, you set out the clothes, and he came and mistakenly poured something black on that cloth. Obviously, you know you're not going to wear that clothes out, and you come in, you're complaining. Instead of him to just admit it and be like, it was a mistake, I'm sorry, it was a mistake, he's going to be like, well, it's not my fault, I was just walking over and this thing you kept here just made me trip and this thing you kept here just made me trip and pour over the cup of coffee on your clothes. That is the kind of person you don't even consider. Don't stop. If this person is doing this all the time, he's going to continue to do it in marriage. So you definitely don't want to get married to this kind of person, because even in bigger issues, he's still going to be self-defensive, and that is going to cause a lot of problem in your marriage. The next kind of person I'll tell you to avoid getting married to is the overly judgmental person. I know we know what it means for you to be judgmental. So anybody that is overly judgmental, please just excuse that person, give that person a pass, to be honest, because somebody who is overly judgmental is going to drive you crazy. It's going to be hard for you to cope with such a person, because the person is always going to judge whatever you do. He is going to always judge whatever you do. If you do something wrong, he's going to judge you for it. So anybody who is overly judgmental, don't give that person a space. If you've seen that thing is a constant trait he always portrays, to be honest, just step back. Next person I'll tell you not to get married to or not to consider for marriage is a jealous kind of man. Now, we all know that jealousy is a normal trait when it comes to relationship, when it comes to marriage, dating, courting, and whatever. Of course, we're always jealous. One tiny jealousy, all of that. But some people also neglect the fact that there are some men who are jealous of your relationship with your own family. There are men who are jealous of your relationship with your mom. There are men who are jealous of your relationship with your siblings. There are men who are jealous of your relationship with the family you had before you actually met him. And I don't think people take this thing a lot into consideration. Some men go as far as wanting to spoil the relationship with that family so that he have you all to himself. That kind of jealousy is really wrong. And if you notice that trait before you already get into that marriage, seriously, you have to start treating that trait before you get into marriage with that person. Or if you see that it's something untreatable, that kind of person can mar your relationship with your family. So it's better for you to just let that person go. And but if you can deal with it, if this is just one trait among all of these I have mentioned the person has, then you can actually manage with it if you want to. Another kind of person I'll tell you guys to avoid is an overly traditional kind of man, or an overly westernized, I don't know if there's anything like that, western kind of man, which I'm going to elaborate more in another video I'm going to be making. Another person I'll tell you guys to avoid, you ladies to avoid getting married to, will be somebody who is rude. I don't think girls take this thing into consideration at all. So a quick story. My sister went on a date with somebody. They went to a public place for a date. Guess what? This person was so rude to the person who served them food at that place. He was so rude, and that was one of the things that turned my sister off. Most of the times ladies would see this as a little something that they can deal with when they get into marriage, but you can never deal with that enough. He's going to be rude to you, he's going to be rude to your family, he's going to be rude to probably your mom or your dad, he's going to be rude to even your children. So somebody who is rude should never even be somebody you consider for marriage at all, except you can actually try to make him amend his ways while you guys are dating. Because if you take it into marriage and think that you're going to amend it in marriage, it's going to be hard, darling. It's going to be extremely hard. So if you cannot make him stop that attitude while you guys are dating, please just avoid getting married to him. Trust me, it will do you more good than harm. And lastly, another type of man you should avoid getting married to should be a man who is still dealing with a traumatic experience. That is going to mess up his mind and also going to mess up with your family if you eventually get married to him. So let's take, for example, a man grew up in a family where his father always hit his mom. That is traumatic enough because it's going to keep on replaying in his head. He will probably even think that that thing is normal, or he probably will not think it is normal. But the main thing is that he has not purged it from his memory. He has not purged it from his existence. So it's definitely going to be him battling with that traumatic experience and him trying to make his family better and all of that. And those things clashing together is going to be extremely overwhelming. And when something is extremely overwhelming, you already know it's going to tell on the family, because his family is not going to get the best out of him. That's just it, because he's still fighting with this and he still has this to deal with. So if you have somebody who is going through a traumatic experience, who like have gone through, you know, one or two things, and you think that he hasn't purged that properly, please, your period of courtship should be the time when you guys actually amend all these things before going into a union. Because if you don't, it's going to tell not only on you, not only on him, but also on your children. I'm sure you do not want your children to grow in a bad environment. Okay, that's all I have to tell you guys in this video. I hope you guys enjoy. If there's any other point that I missed, or any other type of man my ladies should avoid getting married to, please let me know right down in the comment section. I'll be reading. It really helps. And please thumbs up this video, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.